Hello everyone, welcome to Chapter 5, Lesson 2. This is Absolute Value, page 355 in your 6th grade math book. It's a scan the lesson, predict 2 things you'll learn about absolute value. We're going to learn how to represent absolute value on a number line. We also learn how to write the absolute value of a number. So vocabulary startup. The distance between a number and 0 on a number line is called the absolute value. So just remember that absolute value is the distance from 0. And actually, once we go through this, it's going to be pretty easy. Each mark of the number line indicates 1 yard. Draw a tree 3 yards west of the house. Draw a mailbox 3 yards east of the house. So west and east, it says it on our number line. So if I draw a tree 3 yards east and a mailbox, my little mailbox, the distance between the house and the tree is equal to the distance between the house and the mailbox. The tree and the mailbox are opposite directions from the treehouse. How does the number line above help you understand absolute value? Well, if we think about if this is a number line and this is 0, and this is going to be -3 and +3, the absolute values are going to be equal because they're the same distance away from 0. So the absolute value is equal because they are the same distance to the house. Number 5, Jesse leaves home and walks 4 blocks west to the grocery store to buy milk and then returns home. He then walks another 4 blocks east to the post office. Compare the distance in the direction of Jesse's house and the post office from the grocery store. So 4 blocks and 4 blocks are both 4 blocks from the store in opposite direction. So find the opposites. Positive numbers such so the opposite of 2 is -2. The opposite of -2 is +2. Opposite numbers are the same distance from 0 in opposite directions. So number 1, find the opposite of -5. So one way is we can use a number line. So -5, find the opposite. So we go 5 here to 0, then another 5 to the right, and it's +5. The other way is just change the symbol. If it's -5, we're going to change the opposite is going to be +5. Or you can just say 5. So the same thing with finding the opposite of 4. It's going to be -4. So this is the opposite. So go ahead and try the got it. Find the opposite of 3 and find the opposite of -2. So this shouldn't be too difficult. The opposite of 3 is going to be -3. The opposite of -2 is going to be +2. So this is when absolute value, we're going to get into a little bit more detail. So absolute value is not always the opposite. This is the biggest confusion about opposites. Absolute value is the distance away from 0. So in this example, if you ever notice 2 bars in between a number, these 2 bars represent absolute value. So the absolute value of 4 is going to be 4 units away from 0. So the absolute value of 4 is 4. Now the absolute value of -4, that is also 4 units away from 0. So the absolute value of -4 is going to be 4. So if you notice, both of our answers are the same, and absolute values will have positive answers. So example 3, evaluate the absolute value of -7. So how far away is -7 away from 0? If you check the number line, it is 7 units away. So the absolute value of -7 is going to equal 7. And I'm pretty sure you're starting to see a pattern here. Now it wants us to evaluate, so we can actually add these. So first we have to find the absolute value of 5. And then after that, we have to find the absolute value of 6. So this is going to be, the absolute value of 5 is 5. The absolute value of -6 is going to be +6. So we have 5 plus 6 equals 11. Same thing with example 5. The absolute value of -7 is going to be 7, and the absolute value of 3 is going to be 3. So now we have 7 minus 3 equals 4. So go ahead and try C, D, and E. So I found the absolute value of all my numbers. So absolute value of 14 is 14. -9 absolute value plus 3 absolute value, that is going to be 9 plus 3. The absolute value of -8 is 8. Absolute value of -2 is 2. So 8 minus 2 equals 6. So we're going to scroll down to the last one. A seagull is flying 25 feet above sea level. Nevaeh is diving 15 feet below sea level. What is the distance between Nevaeh and the seagull? Well, if we take sea level, so that's going to be water, the seagull is 15 feet above sea level. I'm sorry, 25 feet above sea level. And Nevaeh is 15 feet below sea level. So what this is going to turn into, since 25 feet is above sea level, that's going to be the absolute value of 25. And we're going to add that from the distance that Nevaeh is. And she's 15 feet below sea level, so that's going to be a -15. So now the absolute value of 25 is 25, and the absolute value of -15 is 15. So we're going to get the answer of 40 feet. So the total distance is 40 feet. So let's take a look from my class at the homework. So you got to find the opposites, and then here we have some absolute value we're going to be working with. Just make sure we know the difference between the opposite and the absolute values. But that's the end of the video, so thank you for watching.